This shouldn't be. This shouldn't be.
The sight of 31 simple crosses brings back decades of pain for Bryan, Middleton.
For these people to be here, these young children to be buried in unmarked graves, not knowing who they are, this is a travesty against mankind.
Nearly 50 years ago, Middleton and thousands of young boys came through the Florida Reform School for Boys that once stood on these grounds. For years, many of the former students told stories of excruciating abuse suffered at the hands of the school's administrators. They say those beatings took place in this building, known as the White House.
Just looking at it gives you the creeps, you know, because if you were going down there, you were going to get the beating of your life.
A growing legion of former students, now in their 60s, say for some boys a violent night in the White House ended in these unmarked graves. Many of the school's administrators have died, but a few are still alive, like Troy Tidwell, who's now in his late 80s. We found him living in a small house in the Florida Panhandle. He wouldn't talk to us, but he recently told the Miami Herald that the boys were spanked, but denied they were ever injured. Florida's governor has called for an investigation into the alleged abuse and to determine who, if anyone, is buried beneath these white crosses.
I think it's important. Justice always cries out for a conclusion.
The push for an investigation was led by a group of men known as the White House Boys. During the course of a 3-hour interview, they detailed stories of young boys who simply vanished from the school. These men believe more than 31 of them were killed. Dick Colon remembers another boy who died after being stuffed in a spinning dryer. Not helping the boy has haunted Colon since that night in the laundry.
And then I thought to myself, if you do it, they're going to put you in there. You're going to be next. And I walked away. I don't know how often in a week I think about that. How chicken I was.
For nearly 50 years, few have believed their stories, but they say that's finally starting to change. The investigation of abuse at the Florida Reform School for Boys is just beginning, and investigators say it could take months, if not years, to figure out who is buried in these 31 unmarked graves. Ed Lavendera, CNN, Marianna, Florida.